Hello and good evening. You're watching News Central now on News Central Television. My name is Mazino Appeal. The top stories this hour. Federal High Court reinstates Julius Abur as Labour Party's national chairman. And Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has pledged to take decisive action against those responsible for setting ablaze 3 local government secretariats on Monday. Kenya's Deputy President Gachagua faces impeachment vote. Details coming up shortly. News Central now at this hour begins in southern Nigeria as we stay with developments in Rivers State, where the state governor Siminalayi Fubara has said that his administration will not fold its hands and watch sponsored political thugs run berserk, committing arson in the state. The governor therefore assured that working with the Nigerian Police Force and the Directorate of State Services, measures will be taken to unravel those behind the recent burning of council secretariats at Ikwere, Omohua and Elime local government areas, with a view to making them account for their atrocities. Governor Fubara gave the assurance while swearing in 4 new commissioners into the Rivers State Executive Council at Government House in Port Harcourt on Tuesday.
I want to also let the state know that what has happened after the election, we are not going to allow it to go uninvestigated. It has happened before, and after some weeks, some of our supporters were declared wanted to turn the story around. But this time around, I strongly believe with the support and cooperation of the Nigerian Police, the Director of DSS, we will unravel those behind the arson and make sure that they account for their atrocity.
And meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the violence that recently erupted in various local government areas of the state. Now, according to the governor, the commission was long overdue, recalling that a similar incident occurred about a year ago, which he chose to overlook. Governor Fubara also noted the troubling similarities between the current situation and the events that unfolded before the 2013 and 14, which were marked by courtroom disruptions, arson, and assassinations. The commission, which will work on a 9-point mandate, is expected to submit its report in 1 month. In the meantime, the newly deployed Commissioner of Police to Rivers State, Bala Mustafa, has assumed duty as the 46th Commissioner of Police in the oil-rich Niger Delta State. CP Mustafa, who took over from Olatunji Disu, outlined his plans for the command and residents of Rivers State while addressing journalists at the State Police Command in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State. He said his primary objective is to swiftly restore calm in the local government areas where incidents of violence and arson have occurred in recent days, emphasizing his commitments to work collaboratively with state and non-state actors, as well as all critical stakeholders to address these challenges. The CP added that he has reviewed the current security situation and outlined his vision and strategies to ensure the safety and security of communities and residents across the state. He also highlighted that his top priority is to restore peace to all 23 local government areas of the state.
Proactive security measures and make a stop to all these incessant attacks and secure not only secretariats, but secure the state generally. We want to assure the public that they can go home and sleep with 2 eyes closed. We are going to hit the ground. We are already on ground. We are going to do the needful, secure all those violent areas, in place security, proactive security measures through what? Through aggressive patrol and confident building patrol. By doing that, we are assuring the public of their safety, and we are at the same time securing those places. So we are not taking any chances, or we are not taking any political decision. We are taking a constitutional decision, policing decision to ensure safety of lives and properties.
And now to discuss this further, I'm joined by political analyst and advocate for good governance, Comrade Henry Chinu. Comrade Henry, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I want to go right to it and ask how you think Governor Fubara's vow to punish culprits of the recent violent attacks is going to impact the very delicate political stability of Rivers State.
Thank you for having me. To start with, I would like to commend the governor for setting up the Commission of Inquiry to investigate what happened yesterday, which was an unfortunate incident, and it leaves a very bad precedent for our country. I claim that we're practicing constitutional democracy in this country. But I think the issue shouldn't be about setting up of a Commission of Inquiry, because we've had cases of these commissions of inquiry being set up by some successive government. But at the end of the day, when the enablers of these corporates are people that have the say at the end of the day, or the people that dictate what happened in this country, then it becomes something that calls for questioning. What am I trying to say? Yes, Governor Fubara has set up the Commission of Inquiry, but how are we sure that at the end of the day that these corporates, these perpetrators of these acts, will be held accountable for their evil acts? Because we know very well that this bypass has who dictates their tune, and that should be our main concern, not just the bypass. And they will stand to fight to finish to make sure that their bypass don't get punished at the end of the day. So I think our most concern shouldn't be about setting up of this inquiry, because you and I know very well that the governors of this country doesn't have any say when it has to do with the security architecture of this country. They don't command, they don't have anything. And that's why we talk about the state police. You have people talk about, say against it, that the state police should not be encouraged, should not be enacted. But I think with all these things that has been happening, that have been unraveled in different states, I think it's calls for roundtable discussion about how our security architecture should be rearranged. Because currently, I must say the fact, we are in a situation whereby we who dances with the powers that be, the enablers up there, we have the utmost power to do whatever he or she wishes. So what we are seeing in Rivers State today is impunity, which calls for serious questioning. So I think we'll wait to see what happens at the end of the day. But if so be it, if we are to be sure of what we are doing in this country, I think the perpetrators of this act are known. They are known. Most of them are indigenous of Rivers State. So they should be made to face the full weight of the law at the end of the day. And we see ways to see such thing happens.
A quote from you is that the perpetrators are known. But before, or rather after the elections and before the swearing in, there were comments that were made by, well, the serving FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. And in a quote, he said that Fubara should note that he doesn't have a monopoly of violence. So the question now, looking back in hindsight, how implicative is that statement now, looking at this attack?
When you look at with due respect to the Minister of FCT, talking about who and who has monopoly or who doesn't have monopoly of violence, it calls for more laugh, and it's very quite laughable, because you and I know very well in this country, we know the kind of person he is. His antecedent has spoke back about the way he does things, his violent nature, with due respect. With Fubara, we know the little we've known him within the space of 1 year plus, he's not a violent man. He's not a violent man. So I think Wike, being the FCT minister, should call his own boys to order, because nobody has a monopoly of violence, just like he said, and it will neither profit him nor the governor at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, those who suffer all these things are the masses, the citizens of Rivers State. So I think the two gladiators, the two emperors who are fighting for their survival, because as well as I know, this is a survival of the fittest. Both emperors are trying to fight for their own survival, trying to cleanse their own power group. So I think both of them should sit down together and talk things out and provide solutions to all these ringing tragedies happening in Rivers State. Because at the end of the day, I must say, as a student of politics, these things are leaving a very bad precedent for our upcoming official leaders in this country.
Let's talk about CP Mustafa now. He's been deployed to Rivers State and he's assumed office right now. What do you think this is going to tell for the state moving forward when it comes to security?
When I saw the news about CP Mustafa being appointed to Rivers State, two things came into my mind. First, we congratulate him for being appointed as Rivers State Commissioner of Police. But secondly, on what ideology, what information was he giving, on what purpose was he sent to River State? Because as much as I know, River State is one of the states that within a space of 1 year, you have more than 3 or 4 commissioners of police, which is the cause for alarm. And what people are saying in all these things is that any commissioner of police that was being appointed in River State that tries to abide by the ethics of his or her profession gets removed much quicker than you should expect. So at the end of the day, we should be thinking of, or we should be more concerned about what he's coming to do in River State, more than just being appointed as Commissioner of River State, because we never can tell. Maybe at the end of the day, or before this time next month, he might get change again, just as we have been witnessing before now. So I think another thing again is that the Commissioner of Police should know very well that in the kind of state he has been appointed into. Another thing is that he should also work with the governor. The governor is the chief security officer of the state, even though you don't have any control over any security agencies in this country. But I think you should work with the governor. And seeing the kind of nation, the kind of man he is, as much as I've known, like I said before now, he's a non-violent governor, as much as I know, compared with his predecessor and others. So I think you should be able to work with the governor to be able to provide solution to these security issues in River State. At the end of the day, let all the gladiators be able to put hands together and then move the state forward. So I must congratulate him for being appointed as the commissioner, but then we wait to see what exactly he's coming to do in River State. And with that, we will see that.
Well, I hear you there regarding working with the governor in reference to CP Mustafa there, but then again, what specific measures could be taken to make sure that all these actors, the state and non-state actors, and also the stakeholders can collaborate successfully?
The thing is that we must be able to tell ourselves the truth, that the issue in River State are not far-fetched. The perpetrators of those acts in River State are not far-fetched. So if we can be able to tell ourselves the truth, call themselves together, these gladiators, like I always talk about the political gladiators in River State, if they can be able to tell themselves the truth, know that the River State they are trying to destroy today will affect them tomorrow, even their future offspring tomorrow. If they can be able to come together with the coordination of the security agencies to proper solution to the lingering issues, I believe that at the end of the day, there will be peace in River State. And another thing is this, I think the president, the commander-in-chief of this country, should also be up and doing and also call the security agencies to do the needful. Because when it looks as if some people are demigods and don't need to be questioned and don't need to be called to, because at the end of the day, you find out that even the CP, they end up calling some of these emperors, some of these emperors to proper solution to the lingering issues, and they may not even hit to answer the call. At the end of the day, you ask yourself, who is feeling who in this country? Who is feeling who? So I think the most important thing is the gladiators, because you and I know very well that the issues in universities are not communal clashes. So we can't say that this has to do with some youths or some village against village and all these things. It all boils out on the gladiators in River State, which have to come together and then think about the betterment of River State. That should be their main paramount before power. Because all these things we are doing here, as the student of politics, like I told you before, even the last born in the house knows what is happening in River State. And this creates some mentality in their head that once you leave, you should be able to put, and once nobody's dancing to your tune, you should be able to, create chaos in the state. So I think the main thing boils down to the political gladiators to be able to come together and provide solution. They should be able to come together and agree on the common ground that peace should be the most paramount thing to apportion in the River State. I think with that, all these issues will die off. I believe so.
Well, thank you very much, Chinedu. Your use of the words gladiators and emperors makes it look like a leaf from the book Rome. But thank you very much. We hope to come to you next time for more.
Thank you very much.
We now head to the judiciary, where a federal high court in Abuja has reinstated Julius Abur as the national chairman of the Labour Party. The court upheld the validity of the party's 2024 national convention held in Nnewi, where Abur was re-elected. Justice Emeka Nwite ruled that the convention adhered to all legal procedures and directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize Abur's leadership. This decision comes after INEC had previously refused to acknowledge Abur, claiming that the March 2024 convention violated the Nigerian Constitution and the Electoral Act. However, the court's ruling now affirms Abur as the legitimate leader of the Labour Party. To the legislature now, where the Nigerian Senate has successfully passed the second reading of the Investment and Securities Bill 2024. This new legislation aims to replace the outdated Investments and Securities Act of 2007 and is designed to promote economic growth in the country. The initiative was led by Senate leader Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele and Senator Osita Izuanaso, who highlighted the critical role of the capital market in driving economic progress. Other senators voiced their support for the bill, expressing confidence that it will better protect investors through stricter regulations and enhanced market transparency. In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio referred the bill to the Committee on the Capital Market for further consideration, emphasizing its importance in strengthening Nigeria's economy.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I respectfully rise to lead the debate on the general principle of the Investment and Securities Bill 2024. The bill seeks to repeal the Investment and Security Act 2007 and enact the Investment and Security Act 2024 and to establish the Securities and Exchange Commission as the apex regulatory authority for Nigerian capital market, as well as regulation of the market to ensure capital formation and protection of investors, maintenance of fair, efficient, and transparent market.
This amendment is very important to ensure that the Securities and Exchange Commission does its job in line with the global best practice.
One of the things that interests me is what you pointed out here, reduction of systemic risk. Reduction of systemic risk. I think a lot of people will be happy to infuse funds into the capital market when they know that a lot of the risk has been minimized or reduced to the barest minimum. So this is very good. So I thank everybody, because there's really nobody that says that a bill should not proceed to the second level. So let me put the question. Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay.
Now let's go on a break, and when we get back, federal government launches AI Collective secure $1.5 million funding. We'll bring you the details when we get back. Join us then. Let's stay with politics now. The All Progressives Congress has expressed indifference towards the potential alliance between Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party ahead of the 2027 presidential election. APC's National Publicity Secretary Bala Ibrahim dismissed the proposed merger, citing trust issues between Obi and Kwankwaso. He argued that neither would be willing to relinquish their presidential ambitions, referring their previous failed attempts at collaboration. Meanwhile, both the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party have welcomed the idea of an opposition merger, viewing it as a crucial step toward ending the APC's dominance and addressing Nigeria's pressing challenges. And away from that, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has officially ended its exclusive purchasing arrangement with Dango Refinery, thereby opening the door for other petroleum marketers to buy petrol directly from the refinery. This marks a significant shift in the market, moving away from NNPCL's exclusive role and allowing marketers to negotiate prices with Dangote on a willing buyer, willing seller basis. This new approach aligns with Nigeria's current market practices for fully deregulating products such as diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene, which are already open to direct sales. Dangote Refinery, with a production capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, To discuss this, we're being joined by Publicity Secretary, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ipman Ukadike Chinedu. Mr. Chinedu, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Good to have you here on the news with us.
I appreciate it.
Now, Chinedu, how does Ipman view the NNPCL's decision to end its exclusive purchasing agreement with Dangote Refinery?
Well, it's a welcome development. And this is what we have been hearing since the inception of Dangote Refinery. We independent marketers, we welcomed it, we applauded it, and also show capacity to partner with Dangote. Now that NNPCL have also looked at the enabling laws that is guiding the PIA, and now also have decided to ensure that the market is liberalized. To all the stakeholders and participants in the sector will be able to go to Dangote on this free buyer, free seller relationship. It is a welcome one by Ipman, and I think we are also ready.
Okay, Mr. Okadike, what are the benefits for Ipman members?
Now, the benefit for Ipman members is that the price will be to the Ipman, will come to Ipman members from the first shot. We are licensed to break the buck. This is one of the benefits of Ipman. We don't want a situation whereby products will be given to us in a round-tripping form. From NNPC to go to DAPMAN member, from DAPMAN member you go to MOMAN, from MOMAN before it gets to Ipman members. And you know that there will be little price difference when these products have changed hands. So for Ipman, it will be a direct sale. And marketers can be able to access products as much as possible. That is number one. Unprecedented opening, to collect petroleum products. That one is number one. Number two is that the pricing too, where we will be able to gain, because now that we are dealing directly with Dango, we will buy from Dango, we will look at our immediate cost, and also we'll be able to sell cheaper. It will also help. Then another one is that allocation of petroleum products. With what has happened now, Dangote will allocate Ipman, independent petroleum marketers, their own products in a designated tank farm. Ipman can be able to go there and take this product. So we will now have unprecedented allocation of petroleum products and no limited accessibility. It is not when NNPC feels like they will give Ipman, or when DAPMAN members feels like they will lock up their tank farm and say there is no product where there is product. So now Ipman have unprecedented and uninterrupted access to petroleum products, you understand?
Yes,
it will also put us in the forefront of the competition. Because we cannot be competing with our competitors. Not our competitors. We cannot be competing with those who are supplying us. So if you have somebody that is supplying you and is competing with you, you also find out that there is lopsidedness in that competition. So this time around now, we are the line. We are the starting line. Both independent marketers, major marketers, DAPMAN members, we are all at the starting line. So the competition have set. This is what the independent marketers want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President and Dangote and the NNPCL for opening up the market for everybody to participate.
Okay, can't compete with the supplier, that's definite. And I hear you regarding the change of hands, and of course that affects the pricing. However, the common man on the street would like to know, we heard this from before, Dangote is coming, price will fall. He came in and it's 1,000 naira now. However, with this new willing buy, willing seller situation, how is that going to affect the price of fuel for the common man out there buying fuel at fueling stations?
Definitely, this is what it has to do with in a competitive environment, in a free market economy. The sellers are willing to sell to whoever they want to sell at their price. And now we have sources of buying petrol. We're no longer shredded into NNPC Potana. We have Dangote to buy, we have NNPC to buy. Even DAPMAN members, those who are ready to import petroleum products, if they import, we also buy. Now the competition has set out. You understand? Once there is competition, price will come down. You understand me? The factors of demand and supply will play out, because we will not be able to be, we will not be shredded in no product and not the rest of them. So now there is product. Now there is Dangote, Petroleum Refinery is coming. We now have so many sources of buying petroleum products. So Well, we now have so many sources of buying petroleum products. So it will be very, very, very good for independent marketers nationwide to be able to utilize this opportunity. This is what our president has been fighting for. Our president has been in discussion with Dangote and have told them the need for us to allow us to be able to take the first shot in terms of their supply.
Okay, you spoke about competition there, and I'm wondering what measures have been put in place to ensure that there's fair competition and to prevent the price from going higher.
Well, the first measure that has been put in place is liberalizing the market. Now the market has been liberalized, NNPC has hands off, Dangote is now willing to sell to everybody. That's the first measure. Now you allow the ethics of business take place. Once they start taking place, you will now find out where the pendulum will move to. And I want to reassure you, with what that has been said so far, and what has been done so far, and selling the crude oil in Naira to Dangote, definitely the price of petroleum products will come down. When the MTN telecommunications started, the price of sinkers were high. When more competitors came in, the Refinery, they are also springing up. When most of these things came on board, you will find out at the end of the day, products will come down, suppliers will want to sell, buyers are willing to buy, filling station owners, we need the market. We have almost all the filling stations in Nigeria, almost 90% of filling stations. So we are ready, we are ready. We have the capacity, we have the finance. We even have presently now, we have a tank pump. You understand? Designed for this business. We are ready for this business. No matter how it want to be played, whether it's locally, internationally, pacifically, we independent marketers, we are ready, and the association is ready to be able to face the challenges and ensure that marketers in this country will have first source of petroleum products and also will have the opportunity to break the bulk and sell to their numerous customers on a friendly price.
Well, Mr. Okadike, I want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening inside of the news, and we'll be looking forward to this very friendly price that you speak of. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To more news now. Civil servants in Plateau State are worked half day today in observance of the public holiday declared by Governor Siminalayi, aimed at enabling residents to fully participate in the upcoming local government elections. While people are going about their lawful activities, the main road leading to the headquarters of the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission in Jos has been secured by officers of the Nigerian Police. This has caused slight traffic congestion and diversions around the Plateau Specialist Hospital, which is along one of the key routes to the Plateau State House of Assembly complex and Ahmadu Bello Way, the business district in Jos. In an interview with News Central's Chizoba Nyonwe, the police public relations officer in Plateau State, DSP Alfred Alabo, explained that the heightened presence is to ensure the safety of personnel, electoral materials, and other assets of the electoral body.
What we have done at that place is to seal off the movement of passage of vehicle around that asset so that we can effectively protect the PLASEC facility and also other very sensitive material that will be going out and also will be coming in. What you can see now is deployment of security personnel to our various local governments, that is across the 17 local governments, and subsequently to the polling unit. We have received some men, personnel, and tactical logistical assets from the Inspector General of Police, who is very keen on what is happening on the plateau and is paying a very close personal attention to what is happening here, not for anything but for the security and to ensure that the process is free and fair. Plateau State is quite a peculiar state, but I can assure you, with the strategy put in place by the Commissioner of Police, CP Emmanuel Olubemga Adesina of PSC, I can assure you that what you are going.
At least 21 passengers are feared drowned following a tragic boat accident in Imore town, located in the Amuodofi local government area of Lagos State. The incident occurred on Monday when two boats, each carrying 16 passengers, collided and capsized in the lagoon. Lagos State Police Command Personnel spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin disclosed in a press statement on Tuesday that the accident was reported to the Ilashe Police Division around 7 p.m. He added that emergency responders, including maritime police and local divers, were quickly dispatched to the scene, managing to rescue 11 passengers who sustained injuries. Those injured were transported to the Naval Hospital in Navy Town, Alakija, for medical treatment. As of now, several passengers remain unaccounted for, and Hundeyin confirmed that efforts to recover their bodies are currently ongoing. An investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident is also underway. Let's now tell you that Nigeria's federal government has announced the launch of the Nigerian AI Collective to address inequalities in the development of artificial intelligence technology in the country. During the collective's launch in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy says that the launch will encourage the development of artificial intelligence technology, which is indigenous to the nation. News Central's Joshua Imarai has more of the details.
Artificial Intelligence Collective event, which was held in Nigeria's federal capital, Abuja. In this gathering are senior officials of the Federal Ministry of Technology, Innovation and Digital Economy, alongside stakeholders in the media, business and technology sectors in the country. Stakeholders at the gathering say there is an urgent need to address the increasing inequalities in the concentration of AI resources in urban areas, which have left rural areas and grassroots communities unattended.
So it's against this backdrop that we're all gathered here together for a very important event in the history of our country, which is to create an opportunity to begin to build a vibrant and very strong and inclusive AI ecosystem for the country.
They expressed financial commitment in support of Nigeria's artificial intelligence infrastructure and collective development.
But we're full of expectation and excitement about the promise of supporting Nigeria's AI Collective. And we're so proud to be able to support the AI Collective with a $1.5 million commitment over the next 3 years.
The highlight of the event was the launch of Nigeria's AI Collective by the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy.
And also on behalf of government, again, declare our commitment that on our part, we will continue to support this collective, but also push the collective hard.
The minister says there will be a rollout of other initiatives to foster development in Nigeria's technological space.
We had over 100 Nigerians from all over the world coming back to Abuja to help us craft the national AI strategy. We've also funded a number of academic research projects, 55 of them in AI, which is funded through NEDA. The ministry also, working with Google, launched $100 million just a couple of weeks ago, $100 million. Whilst we were at UNGA, Nigeria was one of the few countries that was part of the U.S. government launch of another $100 million to support infrastructure for artificial intelligence, and local companies that are building AI will be able to access that fund as well.
The inauguration of the Nigerian AI Collective is expected to address inequalities in the area of technology, while at the same time encouraging the development of artificial intelligence indigenous to Nigeria. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Maritime industry stakeholders have made a strong appeal to the National Bureau of Statistics to ensure proper documentation of the activities and contributions of the maritime sector to Nigeria's gross domestic product. They emphasize that improving the data quality in the GDP report on the maritime sector is critical for planning and investment in Nigeria. With the latest ranking of contributions from various sectors to the country's GDP in 2023, the maritime sector appears to be omitted from the data assessment. News Central's maritime correspondent Nioma Obiasualo queries this development and files this report in.
Nigeria's maritime sector is critical to the economy due to its significant role in international trade processes involving imports and exports. It generates substantial revenue and creates numerous jobs, playing an essential role in the supply chain of the economy. However, despite this immense economic potential, there is evident gross underreporting of the maritime sector's activities by the National Bureau of Statistics. For instance, in the Q2 GDP report, the maritime sector, water transport, was reported to have contributed a mere 2.4 billion naira to the GDP, of a total GDP of 45.5 trillion naira for the quarter. This represents a contribution of only 0.01%. In the first quarter of 2022, the MBS recorded a 0% contribution from the sector to GDP. Within the GDP figures, water transport is the only proxy closely related to maritime activities. Yet the maritime sector encompasses much more than just water transportation.
There are a few agencies, at least 4 agencies, which in the maritime sector are supposed to generate those data. And I'm talking now of the likes of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Shepherds Council, and of course the Customs. Now, it is only for there are 2 ways. I don't know how the data gathering works, but it's very possible that the NBS is supposed to send a template of the kind of data it requires from these agencies and for them to begin to input it.
The question that begs to be answered is whether we have sufficient data in the industry, as improving data quality is crucial for planning and investment.
The data you are requesting for, it is there. It's just that they are not updating it. So you'll be surprised that the data might be in different departments, but somebody's not there. A point of contact is not there who's updating this data to meet current reality. So really and truly, by now, they should have data up to the end of last month. There must be a communication breakdown between NBS and the agencies, definitely, for them not to do it, because there's no way you can tell me that the NIMASA does not have the data or MP does not have the data. They must have the amount of vessels coming in. Customs has the amount of containers coming in. Shippers Council knows what is going on because they collect a lot of data. I mean, every vessel that comes in must send information about what they are carrying, what is going on. So definitely the data is there. Maybe them having a joint portal where they can say, okay, every information coming, upload this information so that Nigerian Bureau of Statistics will have access to those information. But definitely the data is there.
The National Bureau of Statistics has exposed the shallow depth of reforms in the maritime industry, which, according to the agency's ratings, have yet to yield the desired result to elevate the sector. Some attribute this lack of recognition to the significant failures of the newly created Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. As this blame game continues, it is imperative that maritime data is accurately captured to ensure the sector's growth. In Lagos, for News Central, Norma Obiaswalo.
Now coming up, United Nations say nearly 1 million displaced this year in DRC's escalating violence. We'll bring you more details of this when we return after this break. We now head to Central Africa, where reports have emerged that Cameroon's longest-serving president, Paul Biya, has passed away. He was said to have died at a military hospital in Paris, France, after being moved from Geneva, Switzerland, due to a medical emergency. Biya has been at the helm of Cameroon since 1982, making him the second longest ruling president in Africa and the oldest head of state in the world. While there has been no official confirmation of Biya's passing, the reported news has sparked significant attention. However, without official word from the Cameroonian government or other reliable sources, the status of Biya's health remains uncertain. Still in Central Africa, the UN's Human Rights Chief Volker Turk says nearly 1 million people have been displaced within the Democratic Republic of Congo this year. Addressing the UN Human Rights Council on Tuesday, Turk voiced concern over the worsening crisis, warning that conditions in DRC are deteriorating daily. He also raised alarm over the rising number of people on death row following the DRC's decision to lift its de facto moratorium on the death penalty. Turk, who visited the DRC in April, described the situation as an explosive mix of escalating violence, regional and international interests, exploitative corporations, and a weak rule of law. He added that human rights violations were on the rise, with 85% of abuses recorded in the conflict-ridden Eastern between June 2023 and the previous year. In East Africa, Kenya's Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is facing an impeachment vote in Parliament in a political drama that has laid bare a rift within the governing party. Lawmakers have accused the 59-year-old deputy to the President, William Ruto, of corruption, undermining the government and engaging in ethnically divisive politics, among others, a host of charges. At a press conference earlier, Gachagua dismissed the accusations as outrageous and mere propaganda, claiming it was a plot to force him out of office. Lawmakers have outlined 11 grounds for impeachment, including allegations that he amassed assets worth approximately $40 million since the last elections, despite an annual salary of just $93,000. Kenya's Deputy President Gachagua has denied corruption allegations ahead of the impeachment vote.
There is nothing here that violates the Constitution. There is no gross misconduct. There is no crime that has been committed. I'm innocent on all these charges. I have no intention whatsoever to resign.
Outside the African continent, United Nations humanitarian officials are calling for urgent action to stop the ongoing conflict in Lebanon from spiraling into a similar devastation as seen in Gaza. Matthew Hollingworth, Lebanon Country Director for the United Nations World Food Programme, says the country could go into the same spiral of doom, adding that major efforts must be made to stop the situation from escalating.
6 months as the acting World Food Programme Country Director in Gaza from January through the end of June this year, before I moved to Lebanon. It is in my mind, from the time I wake until the time I sleep, that we could go into the same sort of spiral of doom, and we need to do everything we can to stop that from happening in this particular crisis.
Now, as Zimbabwe takes a significant step towards economic recovery by compensating both displaced white and black farmers who lost their land during the controversial land seizure of the early 2000s, important questions arise regarding the broader economic, social, and political consequences of this decision. The government's initial payout of $20 million, part of the 2024 budget, indicates an effort to revive the once thriving agricultural sector and improve international relations. In this context, an economist discusses the potential effect of the compensation plan on Zimbabwe's economy, foreign debt, and the country's attempts to reconnect with global financial institutions. During a conversation on Business Edge, Aleka Onabanjo asked Dr. Prosper Chitambara, a developmental scientist, economist, about the impact of the compensation plan on Zimbabwe's fiscal budget and debt servicing, particularly in light of the $12 billion foreign debt burden.
We have the capacity to be able to sustain these payments, but also more importantly, there's a huge crowding out effect in terms of spending on other critical sectors, such as infrastructure, such as social protection, even education and health. So I think that's the challenge that we actually find ourselves in. On the one hand, we want to quickly normalize our relations with the West. But on the other hand, we actually don't have the financial wherewithal or the financial capacity to be able to make a significant debt on this huge debt overhang that
The League Management Committee of the Nigerian Volleyball Federation has released the fixtures for the final phase of the 2024 National Division 1 and 2 volleyball leagues in Umuahia, Abia State. Martin Milandi, the technical director of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation, conducted the online draws on Monday, which the representatives of the 20 participating clubs witnessed. The online draws for the competition scheduled for October 10 and 20 at the Umuahia Township Stadium were conducted on Monday by the Technical Director of the Nigerian Volleyball Federation, Martins Melandi, and witnessed by the representatives of the 20 participating clubs. Melandi revealed that a technical meeting of coaches, referees, club owners, as well as representatives of the League Management Committee will be held on the 11th of October. He added that the Division 1 matches commence immediately after the technical meeting on 11 October, while the Division 2 kicks off on October 12th. And Super Eagles caretaker coach Augustin Eguavon has admitted that Libya will prove to be a strong opposition for his team, but is optimistic his team will get the job done. Nigeria will entertain the Mediterranean Knights in a 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match day 3 encounter in Uyo on Friday. The Super Eagles sit at the summit of Group D with 4 points from 2 games. Libya, on the other hand, occupy bottom spot in the group with 1 point from the game number of games.
Yes, they are down right now. Doesn't mean that they can't rise because they have a couple of games to play. But you know, they are aware, we are aware, our position and their position, and they will come here and fight. But we will also try. We've forgot about the past games. Now we're looking ahead to Libya's game. Not even the away game. Our focus right now is the game in front of us, and the boys are ready. And we're going to give Libya a tough fight. We will fight for, you know, for those 3 points. Every second counts, and we know what it means to get the job done and over with as quickly as possible. It's going to be tough.
And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories we brought. Federal High Court reinstates Julius Abur as Labour Party's national chairman. In Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has pledged to take decisive action against those responsible for setting ablaze 3 local government secretariats on Monday. And Kenya's Deputy President Gachagua faces impeachment vote. Remember that you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Able TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino. Appeal.